You're going to plug that red wire where the blue wire goes in the board.
So I'm going to connect the blue wire to the red wire, and I'm going to do the same for all the other ones.
It's 1977, and two revolutions are about to begin that will span generations. Star Wars is released into cinemas, and computing and video games enter the home. And here we are, over 40 years later, Star Wars is still with us, and home video games, well, you know the story of those. Now, 40 years plus is a very long time, and many of us today are busting out our old computers and retro tech from back in the day to relive a little of the good old days. And it's this modern retro computing that we're here to discuss today. In 1977, George Lucas popularised what we now call the used future, a sci-fi world in which all the tech is old, it's all broken, and it's in need of constant repair. There is a generation that exists today that grew up in the golden age of computing. Me personally, I've lived through the 8, 16, 32 and 64-bit generations of computing.
Sega Genesis is 16 bits, 3DO is 32 bits, the Atari Jaguar is 64 bits.
And now that we're all older and we're trying to relive a little of the golden age, we curate and collect these old machines, and just like us, they are aging.
I'm telling you, Mando, you gotta believe me. This is a classic.
The golden age is over, and many of its secrets have been lost to time. Sure, you can walk into a store and buy a multi-gigahertz 16-core 4K gaming monster, but if you want to find a SID chip or a CIA for your Commodore 64, you might have to do what they did in the Outer Rim. You're going to have to scavenge for parts.
Great news! I found you a Turbonic Venturi power simulator.
The factories and companies that used to make these machines that we loved have gone. Many of the schematics have been lost.
I don't have time for this.
Hang on a second. Do you have any idea what this is? This is an N-1 starfighter, handmade for the Royal Guard and commissioned personally by the Queen of Naboo.
This is a pile of junk.
The retro community itself is doing some damn fine work in building modern replacements for much of this stuff, but still, sometimes you're just going to have to scavenge for what you can get to get that machine going again.
Where did you get this?
It's brand new. Well, Jawa new.
The Jawas had a Turbonic Venturi simulator from a Galactic Republic-era starfighter?
Well, they didn't have it, they got it.
And it occurred to me that, in a way, we are currently living in that used future that was portrayed in Star Wars. In 1982, if your Commodore 64 broke, you could just walk into a store anywhere in the country and just get a new one. Today, you'll need to find some second-hand parts, and you'll need to be willing to get your hands dirty if you want to fix it yourself.
My hands are dirty.
My hands are dirty too. What are you afraid of?
Or you've got to know someone who can fix it for you.
They told me they fixed it.
In Star Wars, and especially in the Outer Rim in Star Wars, this is exactly how life is. You don't even think about walking in a store to buy anything new. You find what parts you can, and you just fix it yourself.
The hyperdrive generator's gone, Master. We'll need a new one.
That'll complicate things.
In fact, in Star Wars, literally everybody fixes stuff. Luke, he fixes stuff. R2-D2, Chewie fixes stuff. Anakin fixes stuff. Leia fixes stuff, and yet even princesses have to fix things in the future. And that includes little Leia. Han Solo, he has to fix things.
Well, of course I'll have to replace it.
Lando, well, he gets his guys to fix stuff for him.
They told me they fixed it. I trusted them to fix it.
Obi-Wan has to fix things even though he doesn't like it. The Mandalorian and Grogu, they have to fix stuff too. But, just like in Star Wars, there is a dark side. And in a world where parts are precious, it's inevitable that you're going to get these guys.
Tika, if you're going to steal my parts and then sell them back to me, could you at least clean them first, as a courtesy?
So these guys are taking machines, possibly working ones, and they're pulling them to pieces and selling them off piece by piece. They are the scavengers of the Dune Seas, and I can't say I totally agree with their practices. Take this guy, for instance. He's got an Amiga 500 case that he's selling, and he's selling the trapdoor separately, and he's selling the side expansion doors separately. Seriously, this truly is the path to the dark side. So there it is. The used future is now, and you and I are living in it. We keep these computers alive because they are a window into a simpler time.
So uncivilized.
And at one time, they may have been the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
She's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
But today, they are just treasured relics from a golden age.
You hear nothing?
You're braver than I thought.
Nice. Come on.